Go ahead.
Alright, so I'm just doing it on basketball because that's something I've always enjoyed, just because it's fun and not doesn't cost me $800 to play in equipment like hockey and football did, which I found was dumb. Why do I have to pay for pads? This game is one of the reasons why basketball became so popular lately within popular culture. Because people play this game, they think they're awesome, they try to dunk, it doesn't happen, but they think they're awesome there. So they watch basketball becomes crazy popular all over. And it's like creeping up on baseball and football as the top sports. Yeah, it's like people go there, play their whatever they're on. Like they have a game on there, it's like you're the player and you go through a whole career. And so yeah, it gives people a huge ego and things that they make them think they're awesome. This is another thing that kind of came up with basketball becoming popular is basketball shoes have just like exploded. And like if you look at, I don't have a picture on there, but the shoes they used to have, they were terrible. I don't know how they played in them. It's like cloth on a flip flop is basically what it was. But now they got like this stuff that's like supportive all the way through, and those it's like having metal ankles basically. And they put like all this money and research into the basketball shoes because the NBA guys want it. Everyone sees them, so I gotta have that. That's gonna make me dunk. But yeah, so then in the FIBA companies they have 7 different colorways of each shoe. And then every year they come up with a new shoe for all these star players. So yeah, and then people they'll spend like, if you get them like new, they're $200 shoes. So another thing is Canadian basketball is it was actually invented by a Canadian. It wasn't invented in Canada, but by a Canadian. He was basically needed a new sport for his college students to play in the gym. And so he came up with this thing. It's like, oh, we'll throw a ball in a basket. And yeah, it got really good. And we haven't really had any good Canadian players come up, but it's kind of starting to change, like with this guy, Andrew Wiggins. He was the first overall pick in the draft, and there's like all this hype around him since he was like 15. And then, so he got picked the next year, or it was the year before, Anthony Bennett gets picked, and I was really hoping that would turn out better than it did. He's complete crap. I looked at him, I was like, oh yes, a fat guy is gonna be good. He was representing, and it didn't happen.
Oh.
It just proved we're not good at the sport. So that gave me hope. I was like, oh, there's another fat guy. So I'm not winning the battle of athleticism here. So he gave me hope, and then he killed my dreams, so I hate him. Anyways, they also have international basketball, which is like the FIBA, and they have a big tournament, and that's like their qualifying thing for the Olympics. These guys, US, they never lose, ever, unless they want to. And then there's another big team, France, and stuff like that. And then there's the FIBA Americas, FIBA Europe, and there's an Asian tournament as well, where all these teams, they get together and they play each country, and the winners of that go on to the Olympics. And it's a lot different than like everyone just sees the NBA, and NBA is a lot different. There's a lot of guys that they play there, they go to the international and they suck. And then there's guys who, they're like the most retarded looking players when they play, but when they get there, somehow they're good. So just the international all over the world, their style of play changes. And then common rules of the game, there's if you don't go outside the rectangle, it's not that hard to figure out. For outside the little arch, it's worth 3. Inside, it's worth 2. And if someone fouls you, and it's like, if you hit them or something, you go here, this little line, and you shoot from there, and if you make it, it's worth 1. That's a dumb picture. But now on to the NBA. The NBA is the National Basketball Association. Like the best basketball players in the world will come here, they play, get drafted, and they sign huge contracts to play something I can play, but they won't pay me. And like there's 30 teams, and they all have their, like there's the Oklahoma City Thunder, LA Lakers, and yeah, so that's the NBA. Even better, the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, my favorite. These are my two favorite players, that's why I picked them. Shomi Schimmel, she's awesome, but she could probably kick my ass if she wanted to. Skylar Diggins, she's a top. That's the value I put on their sport. Yeah, the WNBA I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. It's pretty entertaining, even though there's probably been like one dunk in the history of the league. And like some of the stars of this league is her, Skylar Diggins, she's awesome. She doesn't play much in the regular season, but for whatever reason she gets voted to the All-Star game each year and wins the MVP. And then also I just want to talk about like basketball, why it's other reasons becoming popular is because, like I said, it's not expensive. All you need is basketball shorts and shoes to play. You can go anywhere at all. Like when I learned to play, I was probably grade 6, and I didn't have the big basketball net. I just had literally a post and an old rim I found, and I like tied it up. And I thought it was awesome dunking on that. And then, yeah, so it's not that hard to find a way to play this sport. But if you want to play like other sports like hockey, you're gonna need like, I don't know how much it is now. It's a lot just to get the equipment and everything. Football, I remember paying $400 just to get equipment. And it's becoming one of the more popular sports in all over the world right now. And I hope that was 10 minutes, because I'm done.